You are now listening to Sir Inq's The Experience Podcast, where we talk about anything and everything kink. Now, this podcast is only catered to those that are 18 and above and may not be suitable for work, or as we like to say, NSF. But remember, you can always listen to us during your private time. Hello, kinky and kinkiers folk out there. My name is Sir Inq. Hello, it's been a long time, so let's jump right on into the topic. And my topic of today is, well, who are you? Well, who are you? I know that there's many that say, well, I'm a dom, or there's many that say, I'm a submissive. But who are you? Because before you come to the table with the title and the role that you want to be in, who are you specifically? Because the real you is still going to come out. It's just expressed through domination or submission. But if you try to subvert that part of yourself, or diminish it, or lessen it, or hide it, it still bleeds through. Your personality is your energy, is who you are. Any situation that you may not like, or something that you may not want to do, yes, we're here to push limits, of course. But there might be some core things that just straight go against who you are. And those things need to be known. There are some things about you as a dominant man that needs to be expressed so people can understand some of the things that you do that you don't say. They can kind of understand what your thought process is based upon who you are. And it's easier for you to explain. When you can't explain something, that means you want some bull. You know what I'm saying? So, to avoid more complications, we have to go back to the basics. I'm a dominant person. But what are my core values? Who am I at the core that now I'm expressing through the domination? You understand? So, too many people are saying, oh, I'm a dominant. And then they have this cookie cutter regimen of what they think domination is. And most of it is just really on some commands and demands, domineering type stuff, and then reinforcing it physically. Right? And okay, you can, that's easy because so many people can do it. It's not hard to do that. And then you'll find someone that's naive and you'll take advantage of them. And what happens when you do that, you run the risk of ruining them, and even more so, you end up ruining yourself in the long run, because you know you're on some BS, you know you're not being yourself, and that can only take away from yourself. But you mask it with, well, that's that person's fault. It doesn't really matter how you explain it away. You know when you're by yourself who you are and the type of stuff you're on. And a lot of people can't sit with themselves in that situation. I digress. So, let's go back to the basics. Who are you? And then how are you going to express that through the side of the dynamic that you're on? How do you express that, and how do you vet the proper partner, the proper submissive, or the proper dominant that's going to help you be the best version of yourself? But you don't need to subjugate the best version of yourself or the true version of yourself to be in something with someone else or to have someone else selfishly. If you can't be who you are with that other person, then the whole thing is smoke and mirrors. And I think we're a little too far down the line for smoke and mirrors. And in the BDSM culture, within the BDSM realms, the people who are truly into it, it's really about being yourself. It's not about being a liar, a cheater, or fake this or fake that, or you're just here to have sex with men or have sex with women, and like it's the latest game, it's the latest dating game to get women or get guys or find a husband or whatever the case may be. No, it's not that. This lifestyle is about being who you are, expressed through your role with some deeper sexual exploration or more open-mindedness to sexuality and more mental things, learning things, learning different things, doing different things, pushing some limits. That's what it's about. At least for me, that's what it's about. That's how I approach it. So yes, I want a submissive woman to listen to me, use my guidance, to help navigate her life, maybe some decisions that she needs to make, and especially when we're together, I'm the one making all the decisions, so that's not a problem. But also, she could be so awesome in so many different ways, and it's probably because I'm very much into a lot of business materials, leadership material. I'm also into a lot of spiritual things. And so I don't see a woman as just like something to just have sex with and tell what to do. I see a woman as being very awesome. I talked about this on other podcasts where women are very intuitive. We as men are very left brain centered. And the left brain deals with separating everything and information. Women are more right-sided thinkers. Right side is more, it sees everything together. It's more the art side. It's more of the esoteric side. It's more of the spiritual side. So if I'm in a room full of people, and okay, she's my sub, you're quiet, you don't need to say nothing. Cool. Let's say that's how y'all have it. That's how you got your lady. We're in a room full of people. You don't say nothing. You sit there quiet. Don't say nothing. Cool. We're having this conversation. But I'm having a conversation with all these people. But when I leave, I'm going to ask her, what did you see? But how many times with that mentality of shut up and do what I say, actually understand that this woman can see things different. She sees things that you may not see. Remember, we separate everything. They see it together. We may be like, well, he said this, and then the other dude said that, and then the guy sitting to the right said that. And you be like, oh, they were saying so many different things. But she may be able to show you how all those things are connected. But that's a whole different level of understanding a woman's femininity, her connection to nature, to the source, and actually knowing how to manipulate that. Too many of us are stuck trying to play that role and not understand ourselves. You have to understand yourself to get the best out of someone else. So I get when people are feeling butthurt about giving their best selves and the other person not reciprocating that. Because at least you can ask for it is just to be yourself. That's just the foundation here. But I understand that people they're not comfortable with who they are and their desires or their fears or their traumas. And it's not just men, it's women as well, So we all have to get to a point where we're comfortable with being ourselves. But my point about all this is, in the lifestyle of BDSM, you come in with, this is who I am. These are my past traumas. These are the things that I'm working on. And this is who I am. And this is what I strive to be. Or this is who I am, and I want things to be like this. As a dominant, cool. But then this is what I bring to the table. I need to understand what you bring to the table so I can put together a plan so we can have some success here. No matter what it is, even if we just connect to do sessions or we're trying to be in a 24/7 dynamic, whatever the case may be, it has to have some structure to it. Or you're just willy-nilly out here doing stuff. And then, as a friend of mine told me years ago, don't play house and don't expect the things that go on the house to come up. So now we start adding more people on in our lives. You start involving yourself in people's lives very intimately. And it's just not you anymore. It's just not her anymore. It's other people involved, you know? And a lot of times there's a lot of women who have a lot of women friends or families full of women. And they always have these women involved in their relationships. And that's not something a man, whether he's a dominant man or not, really wants to step into. Because I shouldn't have to deal with everybody else. You got to control that. You got to control your people. I got my people under control. You got to have your people under control. But not everybody knows, how to do that. But those are things that we have to come to the table with honestly. And lastly, be easy on yourself. You may not know everything. You may have an idea of the sub that you want to be or the dom that you want to be. But you can't get there from where you started from so quickly. There are some things that come natural to you as a dominant man that allows you to leapfrog some steps. But there's some territory that you don't know. You don't know how to navigate. You need to get some advice or read something before you just go in there. And then when you go into that place, just have grace. At least be able to say, I may not be knowledgeable about this, but I'm willing to try it and figure it out, trial by fire. But you have to be kind of open to being honest about what you lack at. It was like I was saying about this consent, non-consent session that I did early on, which was challenging for me. But I admitted that. I didn't just go in there like, all right, this is what you want. And now I'm going to just get into this character, this thing, and I'm going to act off of what I seen on TV or on some movie or something like that. I can't do that. Because I got to be myself, so I have to do it my way. And I had to figure that out. And that didn't happen the first time we did it. As I told you, I actually needed aftercare after that, right? But the next time I did it, I was more comfortable. Then at the time after that, very, very comfortable. Because I understand and I can start crafting myself into that role. But that doesn't happen just because we came up with the idea and now we're going to do it. I have to still go on it with kind of kiddie gloves, especially when you're playing with things that are, not just life-threatening, but, you can injure someone. These are things that you have to consider. And we just need people to get back to who are you. Forget you want a dime, or you want a sub, and once you get that, you're going to have to figure it out. No. If you're a submissive person, you're submissive all the time without a dime. Me being a dominant, I'm a master every part of my life. That's just what I do. So having someone in my life, they're a part of that. And I have a role for them, clear role for people based upon what I feel is what I can give to that person. Time-wise, mentally, spiritually, whatever the case may be. This is how I believe we can have more success with people who are entering a lifestyle to really understand that it's about bringing your true self to the table. No more of this 50 Shades of Grey nonsense. Okay? That's a freaking movie. You can't get into a dynamic thinking that you're going to do that. This is much, much deeper than that. 50 Shades of Grey is more like with some vanilla in it. But what do you think? Here I go, trying to put up more content. I'm not going to say I'm back, but here's a podcast for y'all. I'm going to work on another one. And until next time, peace. You know how to find me, Sir Inq, on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can always email me at sirinq09@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. Until next time, peace.